How to boost revenue with email marketing easily in 2024. This is a continuation from another video, link in the description, you can go see it. It's more an intro to email marketing and the benefits it has. And now we're talking how we can boost revenue in your business using the same tool. Now in this case, I use Klaviyo. I've just generally used Klaviyo. For full transparency, I'm also making an email marketing app, which I'll be making tutorials for in the future as well. I'm very passionate about email marketing, and I think that as you build out your business, it is the most profitable. It is statistically the most profitable form of marketing as you build out your brand. So very important that you follow this. Okay, this is just a starting guide frame. You can do a lot in these email tools, and as your list gets bigger and better, make sure you spend time here, because this is where you will find the most profit. Because once you get those leads, okay, from your paid ads, organic, influencer, social media, whatever it looks like, those leads, as long as they're quality leads, which most cases they are as you build out your brand, then you will be able to make consistent money from them. That's nearly 100% profit. I mean, if you pretty much take out, all you need to take out is the subscription costs for the app to do the email marketing, as well as then your product costs, fulfillment costs, tax, rather than the most expensive cost, which is your ads. Email marketing is always the thing. Now, obviously, most people in the beginning don't do email marketing. I always said, like in the last video, you need 1,000 contacts before you do it. Now, I do recommend you set it up straight away when you set up your store. However, you don't have to. You can import the contacts after the fact. Okay, so I just wanted to give those couple of guide frames. The first one is to enable the abandoned cart flow. In the last one, I did that too. I wanted to go into it into a bit further detail. I'm going to again sort of show you this after this as well as we discuss it, to give you a visual guide frame of how this works as well. You enable the base abandoned cart flow. Now, in nearly all email tools, the abandoned cart flow makes the most money, because basically a lot of people will add items to cart, they'll forget, they'll change their mind, whatever that may look like. There are people that know that abandoned cart flows give them a discount, so they intentionally do it to get a discount, right? You can't control that, that's fine, but this flow does the best, because for new people coming through as well as repeat people, it just does really, really well. You can split test this, and as you improve your brand, I definitely recommend that you do that. Now, with the abandoned cart flow, what it does is if someone adds one or more items to their cart, goes to the checkout, or just goes to the cart page, it will trigger based on variables. You could send it an hour later, 5 minutes later, 6 hours later to send an email. Okay, now it has a default of 3. I used to do 5 when I first started doing sort of email marketing, but it's a bit too spammy. As you build out your brand, people don't like that. It comes off as very spammy. And frankly, it won't work very well as you build out your brand. It'll get one-time purchases, but it won't work well. Okay, I'm talking about building a brand where you have a lot of repeat customers, so you think about the long term. Don't just focus on short-term profits. Now, again, as like in the other one, you add your logo and add a discount. The first email, really, it's just a nudge. You just literally just say, hey, you've got items in your cart. There's a dynamic products can be added because it's integrated, and it just says these items are in your cart, complete your purchase. Okay, the second one is you add some scarcity, saying these items are in your cart, but they're going out of stock fast, don't miss out, order in the next 24 hours. Okay, so you're adding a bit of a nudge. And then the third one, add a 10% discount. Okay, pardon me. Okay, so the first one is in an hour, the second one is a day after, and the third one is 72 hours. And we're talking 72 hours after the actual abandoned cart occurred, right? Because Shopify, it stores all of that data. It actually has its own abandoned cart one. You can use that too, but this one, using a proper ESP, email service provider, you just get a lot more control and granularity. And in the beginning, it costs you nothing, just a little bit of your time and effort, but it very much pays off. You protect your customer lifetime value. Most brands don't offer discounts, so that's why you only want to add one at the beginning. Okay, at the end, because you want to really try and lock in that, right? You want to try and not just give customers discounts straight from the get-go. The only areas you do is a third or fourth email in an abandoned cart flow, or to sign up for like a newsletter, right? So you can get the email. So you give them a discount for that, right? That's important. Or to join like a referral program, because what you're doing is you're building out that lifetime value, but you don't just want to like give them a discount without getting something from them, okay? A lot of people, especially in the dropshipping space, get focused on just giving discounts. While that works to convert them, you'll never convert them again, okay? And that's the difference between a brand and dropshipping, and why I'm making this email marketing video, but that's very important, okay? So I'm trying to teach you those differences. Let's go into Klaviyo and discuss this a bit further about this and the psychology, and just to give you an understanding. I always recommend that you put your own touch on it. This is just sort of how I do it. Of course, there is no try and true method, right? The key is that the main and most important part is the trigger, which is the abandoned cart flow, and then just send it out how you see fit, right? If you look at it from your perspective about what you think is good for branding, good, not for, not spamming people, because if you spam people and you get an unsubscribe score that's quite high, you can get your domain blacklisted, right? And that will hurt your email delivery significantly. Let's go into Klaviyo now and talk about this a bit more. So I'm just in Klaviyo now, and you can see that I've already set one up. It's very easy. You just go next, next, next. This is the base flow, right? And you can see that it has default text. You can edit it, who it's from. Make sure you have a sender name. That's the name of your business. This is just a test account, so it doesn't really matter. And literally, it looks like you left something behind. I know it's basic, but it's meant to be, right? As you build out your brand, you just want basic copy. You don't want anything like, hey, get 80% off, right? Everyone gets so focused on trying to get lock in the sale, they forget that as you build your brand, it's actually more, at times, you're vetting quality customers. And I know that might mean in the short term you get less customers, but long term you'll be a lot more grateful. All the big brands, they do this, right? This is no secret. I'm not saying anything that isn't already known 1,000 times over. It's just that a lot of people in the beginning, as they're building, especially for dropshipping stores, only focus on one-time customers, which is not sustainable, right? What I'm trying to teach you is a sustainable business model that's going to sustain you long-term, okay? So it's really important. You can change the details, and then you can change the template. Now, literally, the only thing I would suggest that you change in these is, see how this is all dynamic from the integration from Shopify. You can change all this, but don't, right? These are all variables that has quantity amount, the product title. That's all the variables that's from the API, or called API integration from Shopify. Change your logo, obviously, and say, thanks for, what I do though, is you can say, thanks for stopping by. Don't know why it does that at times. Don't forget to complete your order. I'd change it to something a bit like that. Don't forget to complete your order. We saved your cart for you. Change that. Leave the cart button. You'll see it's got a variable that takes them straight back to the actual checkout in Shopify. That's how good that is. And change the colors, right? Now, this watermark will be there because Klaviyo do that until you're on a paid plan. And add your socials, okay? So once you add your socials, just add your socials. That's why as you're building out your brand, you do this as a one-time thing, okay? If you're a dropshipper building a lot of stores, this can be a bit tedious, but as you try and build out a brand, even if you're a dropshipper, try and build a dropshipping brand, right? Not just a dropshipping store that's going to plummet in a month if it starts getting sales, okay? So very important that you add these. I recommend at least Facebook and Instagram to begin with. Most do Facebook and Instagram, especially brands. Most of them actually pretty much very prominent, on more Instagram, okay? And YouTube and TikTok, right? So, but especially for e-commerce, it's really still a lot of it is Instagram and TikTok, but I also recommend YouTube. But make all of these, right? They're all free, they all take, and you can start building your following. All right, so going back, you can also go to your different emails here. The second one, as I've said, is you add another nudge, but you say, don't, as you can see here, before someone else does, right? I add a time. So instead of your cart expires in 24 hours, complete your purchase now before the items run out, right? And then the third one, again, that's all it has to be. Really, it has to be. Don't focus on building this amazing branded template as of right now. In the beginning, you just want something basic. If you use the Shopify basic abandoned cart ones, they're literally just actually even more basic and they convert. Okay, so that's all you need to know. And then the email 3 is where you add a discount. Now in Klaviyo you can add coupons. Okay, you can add a dynamic coupon, which in many regards I recommend that you try and do. However, in this case, I put here 5%, but generally 10%. But you can add a dynamic coupon as well. So a dynamic coupon is an automatically generated coupon that is different per customer. Okay, to keep it simple without getting too much into it, we just put a discount code. Make sure you make that in Shopify and make sure that you make it so it's applicable across all products. Okay, so you cater to any circumstance, otherwise you can miss out on a lot of sales. All right, let's go back to our slides now and talk about the next one. All right, so your newsletter flow. The next one that's important as you build out a brand is a newsletter flow. Now, keep in mind that a newsletter flow is all about value, and you want to try and get people into that to know about you as a business, your story, what you are, what you sell. Okay, now, again, always put your own flavor on this. Okay, this is just me giving a guide frame. Purely that, because every brand is so different. You are so different and you can never be replaced. Okay, so basically what you want to do is you want to use a pop-up most of the time. Join the newsletter. I'll show you the pop-up flows in Klaviyo, very, very easy. And you want to offer a discount. Now, generally I offer 5%, right? You want to say, join our newsletter, get 5% off your first order. And so what you want to do is the first email will be, especially if they go into that one, you might have multiple newsletters, but for the sake of simplicity, we're starting with one newsletter that offer them a 5% discount. In the actual pop-up, have it so that the end screen, so you have a start and end screen, they get the 5% discount there so they don't have to check their emails, but also have it in the email that sends instantly. That's the most important part. So that way, if someone doesn't purchase then, they still have the discount as well. Okay, and that's why you send the abandoned cart an hour later, so that way you're trying to lock them into a 5% discount to get them into your newsletter, as opposed to potentially a 10% down the road. So you're actually saving money, but getting the same result, which is a purchase and a quality lead. And at the same time, you're getting them into newsletter flow web. So what you want to do is teach people about your brand. Sorry, I'm on step number 4. People want to follow that, right? So transparency is key. So first one is, thank you for subscribing to our newsletter. Here's a 5% discount. And then you have the next one, which is about you, about your business. And then I like to add a blog. Blogs work really well for SEO, which is one of the best forms of marketing, especially as you build out a brand. Just link a number of blogs. If you make 3 or 4 blogs and you just have them linked there, you don't need to change it. You can just have it there on, let's say you're in the cosmetic space. Top 10 ways to put on makeup. Fastest way to easily put on makeup in a powder room, right? Believe it or not, those are important things because women do that regularly in that space. So it's just important that you make some blogs. You can use AI tools to do these blogs, but I always recommend that you double check it and add a human element to it. I love AI, but I'm also an advocate for when building a brand, people don't just want some AI doing it. They want to know that there's a person behind it, right? And that's what still makes brands successful and always will. No matter how good AI is, people want to buy from a person and not a robot, and they want to support that, okay? So always keep that in mind. As I said, there's plenty of ideas, blog, YouTube channel, follow on social media, about us, your business starting story. Success stories are so important, sort of case studies, so to speak. And be honest and put your hand on your heart, right? That's what people see through. People want to, different people follow different people. But when it comes to brands, people want to follow you, right? There might be 6 brands that all sell the same product, but they like you because maybe something about that resonated with them. It could be the customer service, it could be your story, it could be the slight twist you have on the branding of the product. Those things do make a difference. Small, but very big for your long term. Personally, as I said, I go with a blog. And then you want to send this out sort of a week after. You don't want to spam them. So you send the first one, immediately for the welcome to the newsletter, and then the second one like a week later, and then the third one a week later, right? Just once a week is all that's needed just to stay sort of top of mind, but not spam. Okay, so let's go into Klaviyo on, I'll show you the abandoned cart flow, the newsletter flow, the base one, just how to set it up, right? As well as the pop-up. Very, very simple. I'm just going to be going through these ad hoc to show you how simple it is and how you can just align it to your brand. It isn't hard. You just need to follow these few steps and the rest will start falling into place. Okay, so I'm back in Klaviyo, and as you can see, they have a lot of these ones, right? These are the recommended ones because they know that that's what converts best, right? These just do quite well. So the ones that browse abandonment, don't worry too much about that one. As you can see, this one, combined 700 million a month, right? That's just some stat to make it sound good. Literally, just do this, and you want to choose your email list. Okay, next, all new signups. You can change that. Select who gets the coupon. So in the beginning, you want to go all new signups. And you can use a unique coupon, and I recommend that you create a coupon. So test, and we call it test. And you want to go percentage, and you want to go 5%. Entire order, no, and no. Whoops, I should have put expiration. Anyway, you would put an expiration, my apologies. And then you want to have it has a conditional split. So you can have a coupon reminder. I don't want to do that. Okay. You want to add your social media as an example. And then, what I'm just doing here is I'm just making the base flow. As I said, I change it. You can see how they say social media, follow us on social media. I change that to like a blog about us, and then some bestsellers is what they recommend. But as I said, I try and add more value that's in a bit of a different sense, not just trying to sell them. Okay, so you can always change this. Right? Continue. Well, that's helpful, but you get my point. For some reason that isn't working, obviously, which is kind of disappointing. You can see that I think it started to make it. That's a bit of a bug. I've never had that before. But anyway, you get my point, right? And so you just then edit the emails and let it set. The most important one is the 5%, and then the other part is the sign up forms. Okay, now you can choose any of these, right? So what you want to do is I'm just going to start with a mobile friendly tap one, and you choose the same email list. Okay, give it a name, create form. Okay. All right, so you can have where you want it. Okay, you definitely want to have it. I personally, you can't have it in the middle. I prefer a rectangle. And you want to make it small. I usually just like to make it small so that you're not doing too much. Get 5% off. I'll test this and just see. Yeah, 5% off with that newsletter. Again, change the colors, the drop shadow, the corner radius. You can change all of that very easily. Okay, sort of as you sort of see fit. I'm just sort of showing you, and you can so that if you want the SMS opt-in, and I always recommend having a close button. Okay. So this is the teaser, and then as you can see, you've got a teaser, and in the beginning you won't want SMS opt-in, so I remove that step. We're just going to focus on email, right? So take 15% off, take 5% off. Okay, and you can see how easy it is, right? Because it's already bound to the list. So I change it. This is just me, but I put in enter email address. All right, the field is required, and it's as simple as that. You want to maybe add your little logo. and I want to put in join our newsletter. Okay, and then it's in draft, and that's it. And then the success is you just literally want to put thank you for subscribing. Please check your emails for your discount code. Otherwise, please use code newsletter5 for 5% off your first purchase today. Simple as that. And again, you can customize it. I'm just trying to give you a bit of a guide frame on that, and that's all you really need to do, right? It won't be the highest converting thing ever, but in the beginning, that's all you really need. Aside from that, that's pretty much it. You can change the targeting and behavior. So I usually go based on rules. You can go when they're exiting a page, or I usually go on if they've scrolled a certain amount, 30%. It's a more dynamic thing that regardless where they're on the website. And you can do that as well. So you can use this. You won't want to use that in the beginning. Now this is optimized for mobile. Most of your traffic will come from mobile. You can turn on desktop and mobile, but that's all you really sort of need to do. And then we go exit, and that's you now making that flow. Obviously you'll publish it, and that's it. And it'll go into the list and segments that's for the email list. Email list here, and as you can see, got one as a test, okay? And it'll just keep populating, right? As you grow, you'll want to make different email lists to segment, and that's why you do that, so you can trigger it into different automations. But in the beginning, we just start like that. So I hope that has been helpful. That's the next one. Let's get into the last one. All right, so step 3 is a customer thank you, right? So this one is when you get orders, you just want to give them a thank you. Simple as that. A thank you email branded with your logo, and again, a discount code. You can add a discount code, very simple, and that's what you sort of want to do there. You know, I try and recommend, especially for this one, a dynamic one, because you want to add 20%. You don't want people just getting access to this. Make it a dynamic coupon code that usually expires within 7 days, right? And one-time use only, so that way you can control. As you saw from the previous step, it's not very hard to do, but that's something that I generally recommend that we do. So let's get straight into how we do that. This is a very easy one. Only needs to be one email, because naturally it's just saying thank you. And you just want to say things along the lines of thank you so much for your order. And I also put in your average fulfillment and shipping time so that they're aware. It's just a little proactive way to get more purchases while also stopping future customer service complaints and potential chargebacks, which you never want. So again, all we do is we just use the customer thank you flow, follow the flow setup. Okay, so you can see here that Klaviyo defaults to a new customer and a repeat customer. So you can, you know, if you're new, obviously it'll do that. Both aren't bad to have, right? Because if it's regardless, one of these 2 emails will send. But for this one, we just simply just add, you know, your what makes it great. Thanks for your order. Right. Here is an exclusive discount for your next order. So again, you don't need to make this perfect, and literally in here you want to, I always actually should add that you want to enable UTM tracking. That's a very long-term thing, but it's an important one. And then you just edit it and you add your discount code, you add your text. What I usually like to try and do as well is you want to try and add the product that they've purchased and the dynamic product, okay? So you can usually do all that. I'm not going to get into that. That's quite advanced today, but basically you want to add a discount code. You know, I'm one of the owners. Change this text, okay? Add your logo up here and at least change this to thank you for your order. Okay, the word order and purchase, the word order people generally resonate with, I've found better, especially as you build out your brand, okay? So you can change all your styles, you can do all of that, but I'm trying to keep it very simple just for today. Again, you can add a static product, but you want it to be dynamic. But for this case, we're just going to leave that out just to keep it simple. Add your discount code. Again, for full transparency. Done. Exit. Sometimes it can take a little bit. You can make the coupons here. So the coupon that I've made, see how I can also edit it, right? So I made a mistake and I didn't put expiration, okay? So the expiration for the 5% discount, which is for the newsletter, would be after 1 day, okay? Just to be safe, update coupon, and you can add the coupon accordingly, okay? And basically all you can then do is you can put that in the email. This will make this in Shopify and it'll make it dynamic. So I just wanted to show you that as well, so that there's absolutely no confusion. Now, lastly, we have the notes. All of these are automated flows, okay? I'm no genius at all. You can use designers to help you, but in the beginning, just do it yourself. Start like that. As I said, I've used Klaviyo. You don't need a paid account for this. I'm not an affiliate at all. It's just, that's just the tool I use. Make sure you have your sending domain set up as well. You should have a domain. It's really important. If you don't, I strongly recommend you get one. Make sure that your Klaviyo and Shopify are integrated. As I've said earlier on, I'm making my own email marketing app, Beautify email, that's in beta, that's coming out in around February. Remember, Klaviyo has 250 free contacts. So in the beginning, it is absolutely fine to use. You know, there's other ones like MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, and they all have their pros and cons too. But, you know, that's just the one I'm using. So there's no specifics there. It's just the one I'm used to. Be sure to brand your emails, but again, with your logo, typography, colors, and style that suits your business, okay? Once you have it down pat, it's very copy and paste, okay? Because you can copy flows, you can copy emails, or clone them, so to speak, and it becomes very easy. Don't just use AI. As I said, I love AI, but I always recommend that you start more manual in the beginning, then use AI. AI works better when it has past data. If it's not, it's not going to do as good of a job as you would, at least in the beginning, okay? So other than that, I hope that has been helpful. Again, if you did like this, be sure to like, share, subscribe. Join our Discord for any support, the Beautify one as well. You can start your free Beautify theme trial. We also have the review app. And as I said, we have the email app and we have a Beautify widgets app. The widgets app is taking our widgets and making it so it's compatible with any theme on the Shopify App Store. That's coming out in the next approximate 4 months. We're really excited about that. Check out our release notes and also follow us on social media. Obviously follow myself on social media too. I'm going to be updating these slides. I just haven't done that yet, but follow me on social media, Ricky Hayes. You can follow me on all of those channels as well. I regularly post on LinkedIn more too. I'm really trying to push LinkedIn. So if you're interested, follow me on LinkedIn as well. I'm also on Twitter, as I am trying to, branch out and ask and be more involved in the community there as well. Thank you very much for your time. Take care.